This is the first one. This is called Honor Among Thieves by Jeffrey Archer. The second one, which is this one. So I'm a huge fan of Greek mythology. So this is not what we call a reading novel, but more of like a reference or literature. Hey there, my name is Saksetsu, and you can call me Sam. That's what people around here call me. So I'm from the Faculty of Agricultural Technology. I'm the third year major of the agricultural major. And today I've been asked by the LLRC staff to actually come and recommend books from both LLRC and books from my own recommendation. So I have a few books, but I only brought two, and I have a bunch more inside my phone. So I'll just introduce later on, and you'll see pictures from the video. So first of all, this is the first one. This is called Honor Among Thieves by Jeffrey Archer. So I read this about, I think, 2 or 3 months ago, and I figured this is a book which is quite similar if you like sort of like action thriller. So this is what we call somewhat like the movie called Fast and Furious. Because some of this is between America and the Middle East trying to, compare each other or try to fight against each other in order to steal the Declaration of Independence. So it takes me a little bit longer to read for this one, but it's very interesting if you like sort of action thriller movie or book. Yep, so this is the first one, and the second one, which is this one. So I'm a huge fan of Greek mythology. So this is not what we call a reading novel, but more of like a reference or literature. So basically this is like a bunch of short stories, like summary of all different types of gods, like both the Norse gods and also the Greek mythology, also the Greek gods as well, and I think many more, and also the what we call history of all the monsters from the Greek mythology as well. So if you're into sort of like god stuff, monster stuff, or fighting sort of stuff, legend sort of stuff, this would be excellent. And it's a really good book. Plus, there's a lot of it inside the LLRC. You can find both of these books at the LLRC room. And my next book, which you can also find at the Language Learning Reading Center, or the LLRC, is the Geisha of Gaion. The Geisha of Gaion was written by Mineko Iwasaki. It's about a woman who was born into the Japanese age of the Edo period, where she pretty much had to endure many things and had to work as a geisha from her childhood, and became quite famous in Japan and overseas as well. And until now, there's still this geisha tradition. So she's quite pretty much like what we call the queen of geisha. So it's very interesting, and I love reading about it because it shows how strong a woman could be, especially towards the Japanese woman at that time. It's very tough for them. So it shows how strong and how brave, how powerful they are. So it's just very, very, got me goosebumps, and I really love it. And the next book would be The Silent Patient. So this one I actually bought it myself, and it's inside my ebook. And The Silent Patient is a little bit more of the psychological mystery and also thrilling sort of type of book. And this one will get you a little bit more like, I read this pretty much, it took me about only like 1 week, because it was very, very what we call attractive, and at the same time it's very, very teasing, so it keeps you coming back for more all the time. So I kept coming to the next chapter, and by the time I knew it, I finished the book in just a week. So it's really interesting. So I highly recommend this one. I think among all the other books, I highly recommend this one the most. And it's very short as well, so you don't actually have to spend much time. I mean, I read it for like a week. It's not that long, I think, for some people, I hope. The next book, this one is quite long because it's about over 600 pages, I think. It's called The Historian. It's written by Elizabeth Kostova. So this book is pretty much, to sum up, is the mystery of Dracula. And it's both a mystery and history. And at the same time, you'll be learning about geography and also many, many more things about different countries, especially about Hungary, which is the home of Dracula and Transylvania. The next book is more of like a romantic sort of book. It's called The Fault in Our Stars, written by John Green. So this book itself also has a movie adaptation, but if you want to go for the movie, I don't mind that. You can just go towards the movie, but I began with the book first and then I continued with the movie. But at the same time, this book itself is written about people who are diagnosed with cancer and fought through, like, sharing their times with friends and also staying in their own circle, and also prove to themselves or prove to other people that though being diagnosed with cancer, at the same time, they are still trying to use as much as they can within their life, within the much they have. And also, my next book would be Footprints in the Snow. This book is actually from the library back at home in Cambodia. This book is more of like a Japanese translated novel, and oh my god, I really love this book as well. This is also one of the books which I really highly recommend if you can actually find it. It's called, once again, Footprints in the Snow. It's written by Kenjiro Tokutomi, and this book itself talks about a boy who started off as an orphan, which started off as an orphan, had a mother but had to be separated because he wanted to seek knowledge, and then he went to different places, different provinces, doing different things in order to get money to study, and at the same time learning languages, because it's the time where foreigners came into Japan. So in order to become rich, in order to become having wealth and having knowledge, you have to seek both your language and foreign language. So it talks how much a person can hustle from 0 level to a 100% level. So I highly recommend this one. I really love it. The next one would be The Lucy Variations, written by Sarah Zah. So this book is also the National Book Award finalist book, and this book's pretty much talked about a girl which had to give up because her parents and everything, her parents had to pressure her too much because she is a pianist, and being under a family which had to pressure yourself, being pressured because of you're a musician is really tough, because being a musician you have to be like perfect every single time. So with her, she doesn't want to feel that pressure, and she's afraid to lose again. So she might feel like her parents might get disappointed, and she might feel like she might not be up to par. So which pretty much gave her a lack of wanting to do more and made her give up many few times. So this book is pretty much talk about how a little girl, like a teenage girl I would say, how she pretty much stoop and look forward, like look upon that just forget what the other people thinks and just keep doing what she loves. And at the end time, she actually, not only that she want other people's appreciation, but also want her own self as well. The final book of today would be The Book Thief. So this book, you can actually find it at the LLRC, and it's written by Marcus Zusak. It's written at the time, I think it was 1937 to 1940 is the time when the Nazi Germany was occurring, which is the time of Adolf Hitler. And at that time, people had to throw away books. I mean, like, for the sake of not wanting to learn, and also the sake of how Hitler runs the country. So books had to be burned, Jews had to be hated, and people had only to say Hail Hitler all the time. So the only thing that they had to do is just follow towards what Hitler tells them to do. And this book is also about a little girl who seeks knowledge, and she tries her best to always steal books and at the same time try to gather as much knowledge as she can. And that is all from me today. Thank you very much.